he goes. Looking good. All right, today we've got a pretty fun project. Donnie, what's going on?
This go bye-bye.
All right, yeah, like he said, this go bye-bye. We're gonna be taking this entire tower piece section off of this boat. We got to get in here and see what all is there, which means we got to take off the we got to take the steering out, the helm out, take all the wiring out. We got to re-rig it basically to be a single station opposed to a twin dual station. So these VHF antennas are gonna have to come off, be mounted onto here. I think we're gonna actually change those antennas out. Then we also need to, up here there's a terminator that are gonna have to go downstairs for the mercury rigging stuff. We've got to, that anchor light, we're gonna have to add a different anchor light there. Okay, Donnie, so let me hop up here and take a look. Ooh, all right, so we've got a little bit more than just that, because there's a Sirius XM antenna. There's this Simrad, that's probably the vessel view. Yeah, all this mercury stuff is gonna have to come out and go down. This,
that gauge is scary, dude. That's older than I am.
yeah, it's a system view. That's not that old. But this, that's gonna have to stay with the boat, and that he's probably gonna want that. Is this a vessel view or an actual Simrad? Okay, that's just an actual Simrad. So we've got to disconnect all this stuff, basically the trim tab.
Oh, it's not bad in there at
controllers. Yeah, as far as the rigging goes, here, can I drop this?
Yeah, not much at all.
Yeah, the rigging's not too terrible. I should probably got some power and stuff. The main thing is that anchor light and this XM antenna. So the things that are gonna have to stay is the XM antenna and the antennas, like those VHF and probably an FM stereo, and then this anchor light. So those are the 4 items that we're gonna need to put back up here. But other than that, this shouldn't be too terrible. I guess what we'll start doing is just undoing this antenna. I'll go downstairs, take the panels out so that we can get access to the rigging tubes that come up here, and Donnie will start taking this stuff out up here. We'll start pulling some wires, pull some strings, and take this thing off. Something else I just thought of that I didn't a minute ago is that this helm is going to be the standard helm. This helm is going to have to go downstairs, because the downstairs helm is going to be a bypass helm. Since there's power steering in this boat, there's high pressure fluid that goes into one helm, and then it flows out of that with high pressure and goes up to the second one, and then out of the second one it is a low pressure return line that goes back to the pump. So we have to change this out to go downstairs, otherwise you'll have high pressure coming out, which will pressurize the power steering pump, and that'll blow fluid all over the boat, and it will not be a good thing. And there's one of those down, that means your center engine will shift into mimics these. So if this one goes, so Donnie has given me a couple things that need to go downstairs for this mercury system. One is this resistor pack. This is for, basically this is your shadow. Actually no, this resistor pack can stay up here. There's already a resistor pack downstairs, which is going to be number 93. This is for your shadow, which is your center engine. So there's that one, and there's one of those downstairs, which there's 3 engines and only 2 handles. So what that resistor pack basically does is makes it to where that center engine follows these. It basically mimics these. So if this one goes in reverse and this one goes in forward, this engine goes in forward, this engine goes in reverse, but the center engine doesn't move. But as soon as you take both handles and put them in the same position, the center engine does whatever that is in. So if you put both handles in forward, that means your center engine will shift into forward with the port and the starboard. Same thing for reverse, but when you split them, it doesn't do anything at all. And that's basically kind of what that resistor pack's helping to do. And then there are these terminators and this system link. So I'm going to move this stuff downstairs while Donnie takes this stuff off up here, and that is going to allow us to have a single station boat as far as the Mercuries are concerned. All right, so down in here, I need to take these panels right here out. Those are gonna pop out. Like there's little screws there that are holding it in. So I'm gonna take that panel out, as well as in here, we are going to come over here where our rigging is. And this is where we're gonna put our terminators and our system link harness. So we're going to be linking our starboard inner and our starboard engine. This blue one right here, those two are going to link together, and then the other one is going to get the terminators. But he only gave me 2 terminators, so I gotta go get the other 2 terminators. And what I like to do is I like to just climb up in here and sit down so that way I can work over there. So now this is set up to be a single station boat with these terminators on here and this system link in there. The only thing I got to do now is there's these 14 pins. They also go to a Y harness, which is down here that you probably can't see, but back in here is that Y harness from the engines coming up to the Y harness. One goes to here and the other one goes upstairs. So I need to take that Y out and hook the engine harnesses straight to those connectors right there. Now we've got all this access to these panels. Just look at this. It's kind of one of those reasons why you love a CV. They're just, everything is nice, good bends, good sweeps, nice and tight, tension relief, extra wire. I mean, everything that you want. Look at all the hoses on all the rods. Just beautiful, really beautiful. Now, what we got to do though is these wires are going to be coming down. These hoses are beginning coming down. These harnesses are going to be coming down, and some of these wires are going to come down, these hoses are going to come down, and this harness is going to come down. This one I think is going to stay. I believe that is going to be the VHF. Also, this is probably the radar right here, and that's going to go up from in here. That's going to go up right there. So a lot of that stuff there is going to stay because that's going to be our anchor, our navigation, our spreader lights, probably some speaker wire. But that being said, now I can move back over to here and start cutting some zip ties so that way I can get rid of the Y harness for the 14 pin and also get these 14 pin harnesses ready to be pulled out of the rigging tubes. Go up here and check on Mr. Donald. Donnie Don, how you doing?
I got the 14 pins de-pinned for you, so you can go ahead and start pulling that down.
Here you go. You want to put these on there?
Yep.
All right, so we got all of our 14 pins de-pinned. I can now, one of them's going down over there, one of them's coming down over here, right? Or two of them over here.
Two over here and one over there.
Okay. Is that Sirius XM antenna go into a backbone up there?
No.
It doesn't?
I think it goes downstairs.
Okay.
I think this coils up 100 times and then goes downstairs. This thing that was like...
Yeah, that thing's all busted. Look at that.
I don't think it's accidentally busted.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? I think it was pulled out.
Looks like it was done to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Alright, so here we are. Come up in here and I can Start pulling these right here out.
Oh!
Yeah, disconnect them. We're gonna pull those wires through. All right, here's our Ys. Got the Ys pulled out. We got all the harnesses pulled out. Trim tab, controller wires are come down here. In here, I've still got to do some tension relief here and get these wires zip tied up and held just to keep the tension off of this right here. I mean, this is really relieved by that zip tie there, but I still want to hook those wires up like that. So that's all that needs to be done in here. They're all hooked up the right way. So now this is now a single engine boat. I mean a single station triple engine boat. That's all good to go, done, clean power and everything, terminators. So now what we need to do is go ahead and start working on the steering. Donald, how you doing up here? It's looking like you're getting pretty far along, huh?
Well, this right here is everything that has to get pulled out now. And then obviously the hoses, but then this thing will be ready to take right off. This is all that's staying, because this is for compass.
Okay.
That don't matter.
No.
This went to the Simrad, no longer matters.
Okay.
This went to the NEMA, no longer matters, and this was abandoned.
Okay.
This power,
that can come out.
yeah, because this is the power for the anchor light.
Yep.
So the power can come out, and then that's it. Everything, yeah. So all this stuff can come out, because then this went to like the yellow wire for the power supply on that. So
Okay.
useless.
And that backbone, what all was there? All that went
the
to
Simrad and
Simrad, and what else?
Simrad and the fusion radio. So you need the terminator from the other side?
Yeah, because the Terminator's now got to go downstairs
Yep.
for the NEMA backbone. So that's got to go downstairs.
Alright. So the question is, do you want to get down there and start pulling stuff or not?
No. What about this? How big?
This one.
No, I got it out. Okay, so we've got our NEMA cable here. All that has been pulled out. I got to pull that from there. Terminator for our NEMA backbone is now put on there. So our backbone is once again a complete backbone. And now I just need to get this the rest of the way out and then pull these wires here out. And then once all these are out, I can button all this stuff up down here. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. Where we're sitting right now, that's been left there. Still got the steering hose, but I got all the rest of these wires. All that stuff has been pulled out. Pile of zip ties. This is a network cable I still need to finish getting out of here. But other than that, all the rest of this stuff is taken out. That's all hooked up to be a single station. So we're only left with doing these helms and actually taking the nuts off of the T-top so that we can actually pull that thing off of the boat. We need to take this helm out and replace it with the one that's upstairs because this is the pass-through helm. So out of this helm you got a pressure line that comes out and it goes upstairs, and then you got a return line that comes down and goes to here for the autopilot pump. So basically I need to take out these two hoses out, which is right here, and these two hoses out. So these two hoses right here are going to come out. We're actually just going to take them off of here. We're going to take these T's out and then just put these straight to the helm. We're just going to take this return line from upstairs and we're going to hook it up to this helm down here so it can go straight to here, as well as the pressure line. That pressure line is actually going to stay because it goes from the pump. So that's the only thing we're going to change here is these two hoses are going to go away. Those two are going to hook straight to the helm. The return line is now going to go straight to here, and that's it. So I'm going to unhook this. Got a bucket here to try and catch any fluid so I can get all the fluid out of these hoses before we pull them down from the top and try and make it as little of a mess as possible.
That's a string. Not taking that.
Pull it all out. It's all coming out.
So I guess this isn't really that
Hold
heavy.
on. Okay. We've got all of our steering hoses out, and I've actually also got all this stuff off. All these are done. This is just kind of sitting here. Got all our wires out. We're replacing these antennas, so these are going to be our pull strings. You can see into the T-top here. Kind of hard to see. I'll show you in a little bit once we get this off. But what we're going to do is pick this whole thing up like this and walk it to the front of the T-top here, and then we're going to walk it all the way to the front of the bow, and then we can set it down, get down and put it right there, and then we'll be able to figure out how to get it off the boat after we get it down. So what we're going to do is I'm going to clean all this stuff up a little bit, move all this stuff, and then we're going to take this thing off. I got to move all that stuff. But our only big problem right now is this helm down here. This steering wheel is stuck on here, and we need to move the helm from upstairs, which I've got down right there. We've got to somehow get this wheel off. I gotta go get a jaw puller or something to get this thing off, or the other option is to just pull this, take the bolts out from the bottom and pull the whole helm and this whole assembly off. But then we're gonna have the little steering wheel, which is this little one here, which is quite a bit smaller. So we're gonna have that little steering wheel, and then also this clip here is broken, so this thing's gonna go up and down like this, which will grind in here. So that whole apparatus right there is gonna grind itself. Something that's already happened with this one. So if you look at this one, you can see that clip's already broken, so this whole helm is kind of grinding on itself. So we do need to mess with that a little bit, but other than that, we'll have to make our plates and stuff that's gonna go up here to cover these and mount our antennas and all that stuff too. So right now we're gonna go ahead and get this off and then work on that helm. You got it?
Yep. Start walking it back.
Okay. No, just hold it. Just hold it.
Okay.
'Cause I'm gonna come down there.
Oh.
Or actually, yeah. Bring it back and we'll put on these inside legs.
Oh.
You still got it?
Yep.
Okay, hold it.
Okay. Hold it.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you want it?
Just roll forward.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Now what?
You still got it?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if we should go ahead while we got it like this, just walk to the back.
Yeah.
Here, go like this. That's not it.
Oh, I got it right here on my shoulder.
All right.
Just make sure it's out.
Yep. The T-top right there. So good. Right there. We are going to need to go get a puller. We cannot get this wheel off of here, but looking at everything else, we got this speaker pulled out here, and if we look up in there, there isn't much space. There's those little wires right there, so we can add the anchor light to the back here. What we're gonna have to do is, here's our speaker wires, so we're gonna have to pull one of these wires back through, tie our anchor wire light to that wire, and then run from here to here and then down. We're gonna run a new duplex because these won't make it. But yeah, we're gonna have to pull these over to somewhere about there in the middle, and we'll put a 3-foot anchor light on there. That way it'll be taller than our radar, and then we'll be able to just punch a hole up through here to feed the wires up to it. And that's gonna have to be what we do for our anchor light. That means all we got to do now, we got to get our plates to cover these holes right here. We're going to mount our VHF antenna brackets here onto those plates on both sides, and then we are going to mount our Sirius XM antenna right here, and then our anchor light.
Not going?
We're good to go.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, there we go.
Oh, you passed out, huh? We're down in the sun. Well, the jaw puller worked great, so now we can knock this Woodruff key out, take these 3 screws out, pull this off, get down to the bottom of this helm here. We'll just leave the base of the helm and just change the cylinder here, which is the helm that, you know, is the standard helm that we need in order for this to work. So we'll put that on there, hook up all our hoses and everything, and then we'll be ready to go. We do need to get one of the circlips to keep this from bouncing around like that.
So that circlip's shot too?
Mm-hmm. Good to go now.
So these Mercury tilt mechanisms have a circlip that holds the steering shaft up, and you know, obviously this looks pretty rough. That one rusted out and just fell apart. So if you were to run this in the tilted position and start turning, it would bind up the mechanism down in there. So we ended up finding the right size circlip.
All right, we've got our little covers here that we're going to need to use to cover up the holes that are up here in the T-top, but we need to take 3 of them. We're going to mount 2 VHF and AM/FM antennas onto each one, and then one of them is going to get the puck for the Sirius XM radio. So I've got to kind of figure out a way of mounting these. I think what I'm going to do is drill a hole and tap this in order to mount these on here. This one's not going to go on that one. It's going to go on a big one like this. So I guess what we're going to have to do is go ahead and tap this out and then put threads in there, so that way we can use machine screws in order to mount these on there, and then figure out a way to put a hole in here to get our wire out of here. We'll probably actually drill a hole in the bracket itself to send the wire down the tube. Okay, so what we're going to do up here is I'm actually just going to, opposed to drilling through the brackets, we've got space back in there, so we're going to go ahead and run the wire. We'll put this on here like this. We'll mount these to the plates, and then we'll run our wire out back here through the fiberglass and put like a clamshell on it to cover it up. So that way this will be right there. And we'll do that on both sides. Alright, I've got both of these mounted up to our plates. I'm just going to drill holes in this right here in the thing, so that way these bolts can stick down. I'm going to put some nuts on those, but other than that, these are ready to be mounted up, and those are good. We're just going to run the wire out to the side, go through the T-top, put a clamshell on it. But now I need to take this one and mount our Sirius XM antenna on here. So actually this isn't really a base, so I need to drill a hole for our wire to go through, because this wire doesn't come off of here. Actually, maybe this might pop off. I'll see if this pops off. If it does, then I'll stick the base down onto here and then put the screws in it, mount it up, and then we will take these up onto the boat and put them up. We are ready to stick these down in. This is all sealed up and ready. This is going to go right here. I'm just going to cut this thing off just to get it flush, pull this wire down, hook it up to here, and then we'll mount that, mount these VHF antennas. Donnie's going to go ahead and mount all this stuff up while I go down in there and cut the zip ties and actually work on all the wiring that's down in the console. But we need to figure out where to drill the hole. These plates are pretty much identical for this, so we could probably go ahead and drill our hole for the VHF antenna wire somewhere right in this area right here that's in this track. That way we can push it down here, slide it in, and then tie it up and pull it down. So we're going to go ahead and get the clamshell and the wire to put the clamshell here and run this wire, so we can run these wires to let me work while Donnie's up here mounting all this stuff up. Okay, go for it. Yep. There you go. If you can't, you can't. I don't think it, huh? No, let's stick this thing back to 2 for now. Donnie's got these mounted up. That's looking really good. I like that. Sirius XM's on there. Those are mounted. Those are looking good. Do need to go get a couple of clamshells for this wire here to go in through here, but this is mounted, ready to go up. That's going to stick there. So we're going to go get our clamshells and some zip ties and stuff, and then we'll come back and mount these two, mount that ankle light, and we'll be rolling.
Yeah, because it follows like this line right here. So
ready?
Are you through?
Yep.
Just a little more. Yeah.
Okay.
So look, here's what I mean. Try putting it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like right there, you'll miss all the wires. Right there, perfect.
Okay, so we've got our lights here, or our anchor, or our antennas. We've got our antennas right here, put in here. You think that's funny, Donnie? So these are all put in there. Got enough slack so when we mount it, you can move the antenna up and down. Donnie's about to mount this like this. So these are going to look really good. That way you can still get to the handle from the outside of the boat. That one's done. This one over here, same thing's looking good. All those pads are done. That looks really good. Those are looking good. So Donnie's going to mount these. I'm going to go down inside and finish running these wires and hook them up to the VHF and to the radio. Here we've got our console. We still got to get it out of the boat, but this is from up top. We're looking good. Both our VHF antennas, got our anchor light on there. Donnie's just trying to clean some stuff up. We already started the engines and then turned them. Got the steering purged out because we did move that helm down, but this is what we're looking like up here. Looks real good. Got that anchor light that'll move up. Nice pads up here. And our VHF, or this one's our AM FM antenna, and that one's the VHF. But got these pads on here, looking real nice. This looks real good. I mean, they're still got the C deck up here, but for taking the console off, this is what we're looking like up here. Looks real good. This you just kind of like pull out and then move up and then it's stuck down. Pretty sweet little ankle light. Looking good. Go down and check out the inside the console. Down in here, just got to clean up some stuff. Clean up all our trash. Got the old harnesses and stuff. All this is hooked back up in here, looking nice, just like a CV should. Everything's zip tied up, stress relieved. All our wire harnesses nice and clean. No steering leaks coming out of our steering system that we put in. None of these are leaking. None of this is leaking on the autopilot. So this right here is a success if you ask me.